Today I have found some bird eggs. I don't play this creature the most because sometimes I get a little bored and then I get that sunk cost fallacy, you know. I don't want to waste my life and die trying to bite some massive creature and get one shot. It's not my favorite thing. I like some epic battles. But why not? I got some good mutations from these parents and I wanted to try and hone my abilities. Especially seeing as Pterodon is going to be significantly changed in the next update. We won't be able to attack people while flying. Or at least not unless we air brake. Not really sure if I'm much of a fan of that concept, but you know how the Isle devs are. They work in mysterious ways. I was just barely out the nest before I already found my first target. The victim of my harassment. This Kano. I will say messing with Kanos on a slope is not the best idea. I'd have to play this careful. But it wasn't going to stop me. Today I decided that I would not be hindered by the fact that I didn't want to lose my creature. A lot of the time on something like a Trudon or a bird, I don't want to just YOLO it, but today, we're gonna YOLO it. Right now they're facing the downhill, so that's a good time. Anytime they're facing an uphill, they could just run up and then obviously they're higher compared to you, and you could bump into them or they can just bite you. It's a bit risky. And I'm spamming my calls too because that's the way of the menace, I think. It's what I gotta do. Make everyone mad and scream at them. I was secretly hoping a big one might come and help me, but nope. I'm alone on this journey today. I was biting the air and screaming like a rabid dog. I didn't want to waste my stamp sprinting, so I just slowly floated behind the Kano and followed them on their journey. They did try and use this little overhanging part of the fence to their advantage, but that won't stop me. I'm feral. Though I was missing quite a few of my shots. I'm still learning how these creatures work. Finally, a smart decision was made. Though I bit the Kano's tail as it disappeared through the door. It went inside, clearly terrified of me and my sky powers. I'm happy to say that I chased that Kano, tail between its legs, and in agony. And you know me, I continue to scream, be annoying, bite the air, let him know that I'm not leaving. I don't know how much you guys read of yesterday's dev blog, but there's a lot of changes coming to this bird that I'm not sure I love. In my mind, this bird is like a paper airplane. It flies over your head, you can't reach it, maybe it gives you a tiny paper cut on the way by. But if you don't want a tiny paper cut, you can simply stand under a bridge, stand inside a structure, run between the trees, walk up a hill, walk down a hill. Sit down and stand back up. Crouch and stand back up. Go inside a cave. Stand near a ledge. If you're a Sarah getting killed by a Pterodon, then honestly, I'm not trying to be a hater, but that is a skill issue. That is a skill issue on the Sarah's part. That is just outrageous. Even if you're in Highlands, like, just go uphill a little bit and then run back downhill, and that's going to burn the hell out of the bird's stamina. If you do any of those things and the bird messes up even slightly, then you can get a free hit on them, and since they weigh nothing, they immediately die. And they do a lot of damage, so they have to take constant risk in order to continue biting. And if you're a baby and you get killed by one, well then you haven't lost much anyway, you can just respawn. Oh, side note, that was a body drop, by the way. Which, unlucky for the Kanos, but it fell on top of a building. this is just a thing for the Petits server since there's like 300 players and no AI, so you know, sometimes you gotta feed the wildlife a little bit. So the bot that they have just drops down some bodies now and then. And I did offer a few chunks to the Kano, so you can't say I'm heartless. As I was saying though, it's all risk balancing rewards, so if you're tiny, you weigh nothing, you do no damage, you gotta take a lot of risks to even hurt people, the reward is that it's slightly more difficult for them to hurt you because you fly above their head. I say slightly because, again, all you have to do is like run uphill and back downhill to throw off their height and then get a few hits. And they die in, as I said, one hit. So, you know, you mess up once, which is bound to happen when you have to hit people, you know, 20 plus times to even do damage. Especially for the bigger dinos. I mean, it feels fair, in my opinion. But I'll be interested to see how the devs balance it. They want to add a feature or maybe some speed, maybe damage, maybe a different type of alt bite. Something that makes the pterodon able to attack small dinos and other babies and stuff while they're on the ground. So maybe they're going to get a bit of a weight upgrade and be able to, you know, hold their own. And only have to fly if danger comes, like something bigger than themselves. All we asked for was better stam. And there's a lot of good changes, such as what's it called? Sparring? Spearing? Where you go on the edge of the water and then you can catch a fish and it swims to you. That's in the horde test. That I think is great because AI spawns with the fish swimming. Pretty unreliable sometimes. And you know what I would love to see added? I would absolutely love if you could like fly over a corpse, bite it on the way past, and pick up a chunk of meat. I think that would be great. That would really make pterodon a proper scavenger, as well as the ability to eat rotten flesh. I feel like they deserve that. Troodons as well. Troodons really deserve to be able to eat some rotten flesh, in my opinion. Oh, and I made it to Radio Tower. I'm not sure if Radio Tower even exists on the new map in Horde Test. I don't think it does, to be honest. Which is sad, because I do like this place, even though I understand why they're making it smaller. You know, removing some of the outer, less traveled parts and condensing the map, which I think will be good for the player count, but ideally I'd love to see a higher player count. But in Horde testing, there's a lot of 120, 140 pop servers, so who knows, we might be getting that. This other bird that I was with flew in the tunnel and somehow got stuck in like the roof of it, and I wanted to go in and investigate. I was feeling confident in my ability to make tight turns, but apparently there's like invisible barriers. So yeah, I just fell a little, and then when I tried to correct, didn't work out for me. On my next spawn, I was sitting on this tower when I heard some suspicious climbing noises. Now, considering I play a lot of Hera, I recognized immediately what that was, and I got out of there. I didn't really know where it was, but I was not sticking around. Well, just kidding, because I did stick around, but, you know, maybe not as closely as before. I had a little fly around, a bit of a scream, you know, good old me activities. But I actually don't think that he could have climbed up to where I was, because there's sort of an overhang on this platform. I don't think it's possible for him to climb upside down. So I probably could have stayed in that spot and not tested fate, but I did. Luckily he jumped right over me, and so I survived. Until the pesky thing spotted a human. That definitely piqued my interest. The human kicked the hell out of him. Poor thing, man. He tried to do a few jumps off the wall, but he wasn't landing any of them. The human tried to shoot him, but of course the shoot thing doesn't do any damage. The gun, the bullets. I took a closer look and he got the life kicked out of him. Pretty brutal stuff. I was hoping to make friends with this human, you know, maybe he'd let me have some food. But no. This is a savage human. Respect, honestly. He started getting a little close though and trying to kick me, which began to make me slightly nervous, and also mildly aggravated. Like, what the hell did I ever do to you, buddy? And so, of course, I had to teach him a lesson. Let him know what I thought about this situation. I really hope that humans get the update they deserve soon, because currently they make no sound at all, even when you bite them, so I literally have no clue if I'm hurting him or not. Though I suppose I'm pretty tiny, so even if I was hitting him, how much damage do you think I was doing? 4? 4 attack damage maybe, at most? And also he was being smart, trying to hide behind the wall, and this is what I was talking about before. You don't have to do much in order to make a Pterodon test its limits. So I made a mistake here, flew too low, and suffered the consequences. But that is exactly what's going to happen if they don't adjust the air brake. Because at the moment when you use it, you slow down a lot, but you also descend quite a lot. So I'm a little nervous that when you try and attack people, you're going to start losing a lot of altitude, and then of course it makes it even easier for them to knock you out the sky. So who knows, maybe we'll get a bit of a better upgrade for the hover mechanic, or the air brake. I'm hoping we do. And look at me, I finally arrived at Highlands. This was my goal all along, to try and get here. But it is not very easy. From West Access, you have to take like 3 stops just to get up here, and each time it takes like 8 minutes to recharge your standbar. So that is insane. It's a lot easier from Water Access, but of course if I wanted to come up there, I would have to fly like halfway around the map to the dam. And I'm too lazy for that. That takes time too. I really don't enjoy having to AFK to get my stam back, which sucks because I think the bird is like a really fun creature. The Sky Devil. Also, I had this idea that could be really cool for like future updates. You know how there's a sleeping animation that every creature has? I assume it took the devs a while to make that animation, you know, but it's barely used except for when people are logging out. And not to bring up Path of Titans, because I know you guys love to hate that game, but in that game you can lay down and use your sleeping animation, and it doesn't log you out immediately, but like a certain amount of time of laying down, I think, counts the timer down towards when you can press a button to log out. So instead of counting down in the sleeping pose, it just counts down in your menu, and then you can choose to log out after the certain timer. And you also heal stam and health quicker when you're in your sleeping pose. And when the raptors are all chilling up on a rock, imagine a few of them are just curled up in their sleeping pose. I think that'd be pretty cool. You could heal a slight bit faster. I know the Isle loves to make you wait a long time to heal, but a slight bit of faster healing would be pretty cool. And in exchange, you're laying down, so obviously you're more vulnerable because you could easily mess up and someone could sneak up on you, bite you. It takes a while to stand. Could be a pretty cool trade-off. Pro tip I learned in this fight. A charged swing can hit you. So look out. Let's again demonstrate how one small mistake, one wander up or down a slight incline, that can end your whole career. And this is where I learned to be careful of Tennos. Very risky attacking a Tenno. Or maybe I just flew too low. Not sure. My next spawn was Water Access, which is great because all the other times I had spawned in West Access, which is a bit of a more difficult or steep journey to get to Highlands. Whereas Water Access, when you fly up into the mountains, you arrive straight at the lake, which is really great. And on that journey, I got to experience the life of a surveillance drone. And I watched from the treetops as these dibbles got slaughtered. They were winning the battle at first, but they got a little too greedy. They tried to chase the Sarah when it decided to walk away. And it decided it wanted to win. Put up a great fight. And you guys can't say I'm heartless towards babies anymore. I could have pecked this guy's life away, but instead I opened a ticket in the Discord server for this Petits server that I'm in, told the staff, and one of them came pretty quick to rescue him from his demise in this hole. Felt pretty good about that. Warmed my heart. Look at him. He had been screaming non-stop for like 10-15 minutes. I'm honestly shocked that he survived all that screaming. But now he's about to be set free. Look at him. There he goes. You're free! So cute. Gave that guy a pretty risky, but pretty satisfying bite to the face. I don't think he liked it very much. Oh, and I found this random dillo on the ground, took some organs, and enjoyed the lag. Not sure what was happening here. I was trying everything. I was just very laggy, and I was hoping everyone else around me was also very laggy. Because you do not want to be a bird stuck on the ground as much as the devs want you to be a bird stuck on the ground. The bird is not ready for its ground life just yet. Luckily I was able to use a little ledge, throw myself off it, and get enough airtime to take flight and feast on my organs. I was having a conversation with my partner at this time, in real life, distracted from the game, when I happened to look over and notice someone running towards me. That could have been very bad, so I'm glad that I spotted him. Tricky little hare. Finally, I was getting big. My harassment campaign was about to begin. I had gone through training. I had learned to be careful of tenos. And I even screamed at these bubbles that I saw in the water. That is a sign of a dino having a big old underwater sniff. You want to be really careful biting stuff that's swimming too close to the shore, because at any moment they could just climb out of the water and then suddenly they're a lot higher and you're just gonna walk straight into them. This trike though, he wasn't too worried about me. He was a bit busy trying to swim after a dino, which is not something that I see every day. I'm looking forward to elder dinos. They are hopefully going to be able to grab a big old chunky trike. It is quite nerve-wracking flying over a massive trike and wondering if you're going to bump into it, because its head reaches so high. But eventually my strategy became angling my camera down so I could see exactly where my body was in relation to whatever I was trying to take a nibble out of. This did help a lot, but it does make maneuvering a little more risky because you're not really looking around, you're only looking straight. But I think it worked out for me. Every time I bit this trike while it was drinking, by the way, I was stopping its drinking animation and forcing it to restart the process of trying to get water. And I was also lagging quite a bit, which isn't ideal, but the show must go on. I harassed them for a good part of the night, which I'm perfectly happy with. I have no shame. And as the sun rose, I was still biting them. Almost got myself absolutely flattened on this tree, but I was fine. And another mildly ungraceful landing. I needed some water. Concerningly though, I was still glitching around on the floor a bit, which not very ideal. This landing though, not really sure how this happened. I was trying to land on the tree, like hanging on to it on the opposite side of where the other bird was sitting, but somehow I just was standing. Not gonna question that. And again, biting the wildlife. Favorite pastime. Love that. Those Carnos though, they were on too much of like uneven terrain and they were fighting some Seras on some rocks. I didn't want to get caught out by them going up and down and getting knocked out of the sky. So instead I came back to my favorite, perfectly flat area and found some new targets. They were perfect. Do you want to know why I love Highlands? Especially on Petits, okay? In other servers it can be a bit, nothing interesting happens. But the reason I especially love Highlands on a high population server is because it's constant war. There's always insanity or peace. There's just like no in between. So usually there'll be a bunch of herbivores, they'll take over the land, they'll defend it from all the carnivores, they'll have their babies, there's like a safe drinking spot, lots of food around, so maybe they'll nest here, they'll raise their children, all the little babies will be wandering throughout the lands, eating the food, avoiding the haras, enjoying themselves. There's gastroliths too, so that's great. And then, when you least expect it, a carnivore will come by. Maybe at first just one. The herbivores will chase it away. They'll scream at it. They'll sound the alarm. It might die, it might run. But the sounds, the smells of the dead bodies, the previous victims of the herbivore tyrants, they'll draw in a new crowd. The carnivores. One of two situations will happen after that. One, there's not enough carnivores around, and the herbivore parents leave. They get bored, a few of the small ones stay around, some other carnivores come through, they wipe out all of the children, they take over the lands. Option 2, the parents stay, a big group of strong carnivores come through, like maybe Sarah's. World War. World War. And one of those sides is gonna have to win. They're gonna have to take the victory. If the herbivores win, there's corpses everywhere. If the carnivores win, there's corpses everywhere, but you know, at least they're getting eaten, they're getting enjoyed. And then eventually, the cycle repeats. The carnivores get bored, they leave looking for more prey, or the herbivores come back and take them over, you know, reclaim the homelands. It's beautiful. This part of Highlands, I love it, and I'm so sad that it's getting upgraded, even though, you know, the new lake is cool, it's better for dinos because they can actually hunt. But the safe spot here is perfect because some creatures still get grabbed, but not everyone. There's opportunity for you to save yourself. And so everyone gathers here, and the dinos fight, the herbivores fight, the carnivores fight. It's so perfect. And if there's zero safe drinking opportunities here, then I don't think the herbivores will hang out here as much. Delta might be the new spot. Whenever I've played Horde Test, Delta has been the spot. Though that's probably because all the Dibble AI spawn in Delta. Another mildly embarrassing landing by me. No comment. I was secretly hoping this dino might want to be my buddy. Again, not going to mention the landing. I don't want to see any comments about that. But he logged out, which is perfect for me, because these bodies actually were filled with organs. And I was feeling pretty hungry and thirsty. So honestly, ideal situation. I don't don't comment about the landings. I don't want to hear it. I did have an idea though, because now I was full, but there were still organs laying around. And one time a bird came up to me and dropped an organ, and I was very grateful. So I thought, why not pay that kindness forward? Even though I'm being a menace today and annoying the hell out of everyone, why not drop a little uber organ on someone's head? I'm sure he appreciated it. That landing was fine, okay? I almost messed it up, but it was fine. Full grown, full water, full food, full stamina. Perfect opportunity, by the way, that I could have just bitten some food up. Could be a cool mechanic in the future. It's time. I know I was nice to this Kano before, but all of that is over. Everyone's my enemy now. Though especially this tiny dibble, because I don't think I've killed a single thing this entire video. And I don't think I will kill a single thing, but I will try my best. I thought maybe the little diblet would be in one of these bushes, but I didn't find him again. I did, however, witness the beginning of a new battle. The herbivores versus the carnivores. This is what I was talking about, the cycle. For now, this is a small invasion, only a few carnivores, but there's not that many herbivores here. And a thing I like about this server is that the trikes and the stegos aren't allowed to protect the other herbivores, which even though, you know, you're allowed only 4 carnivores in typical larger carnivore groups, you're allowed like 5 herbivores or 6 herbivores in a mixed group. So, I don't know, the carnivores don't stand too much of a chance, but when they invade, it's beautiful. I'm still enjoying my time, flying around, biting people on their butt. I think these dibbles are well and truly sick of me. They tried to take shelter behind a single, straight tree, but that doesn't provide the most shelter, I don't think. They would have been better off maybe going to that log over there, sheltering under something with a bit more of an overhang. Ideally, I would have loved to be biting their little baby, but to bite the baby, you gotta fly a little lower, and to fly a little lower, you run the risk of getting whacked out the sky. In the distance, I heard something glorious. The sound of serratos. For now, they had a good chance. There was only a few dibbles around. They made quick work of the first one, before moving on to fighting the second one. I'm honestly not sure what happened to the little baby dibble. I kinda hope he survived though. I'm pretty sure he made a run for the bushes. I don't see him under the log here, so maybe he escaped or stood in a small bush. I'm rooting for the little fella now, you know? I wanted to kill him before, but that was my own personal mission. I didn't want a Sarah to kill him. Everyone knows Sarahs stink. The problem with this battle is that it's loud. Very loud. And in the distance, a family of 5 Mayas began stampeding towards the area. This was a battle that had to happen. The Sarahs couldn't run, they were too slow, so they would have to stand their ground and try their best to win. Did you know, the next update, Sarah is getting a weight increase. I think by about 100 kg. Now, in terms of fighting other herbivores, I think this is a great change. It makes them a lot more scary. It makes them hold their own a bit more, considering that they are a slower carnivore. It's something that I think isn't too bad. As much as people complain about, oh, Sarah buffs, the devs love the Sarah. I think a small weight increase is fine. But I do wonder how the Carnos will react to this, because Carnos are a bit small lately. Maybe it's justified though, because they are speedy. I really love Carno versus Sarah battles, which I hope will still be able to happen even when Sarahs are a bit bigger. I hope Carnos still try their best. But what do you guys think about that? Maybe the willy-nilly battles between carnivores will slow down a little once the elder system comes in, because when fighting someone, you won't be able to tell, maybe from a distant glance, if they are an elder or not. And if you run straight up to a prime elder, and they're way faster than you, I don't know, you know, maybe it will promote a bit more of some realism, some stealth, some risk assessment before you just run in and try and nibble someone. This battle is slowly ending. The Mayas have mostly run out of stam, and the Sarahs are pretty low on health. Right here, one of them gets smacked in the face and dies, so it's just the last guy. The thing that doesn't help much when you're the last one standing is that lower health also leads to lower bite force. So if you're making that last stand spamming your bites and you have low health, well, there's pretty much no point in even biting because you have like 0 bite force. Well, not 0, but you know, a lot less compared to whatever you're fighting. Which I think is really good because it leads to like a first bite advantage, sort of. Like if you get the jump on someone, you get a lot more damage on them first, and then they maybe camp a cliff or try to run away and you catch up to them. They're gonna have lower health after that first encounter, and therefore lower attack damage. I learnt right here as well that Mayas can smack you when you're in the air. Not sure how I didn't fall on my face, but that is something I'll definitely be remembering in the future. I also discovered some nesting tennos. They're pretty cute if you ask me. I did kind of want to attack them, but then once I got here and saw how cute they looked and got a little too cool from one of the babies, I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to do it after that. If you ask me, the parent probably just told that one to shut up. Oh, and when I sat down here, I heard a Hera F-call having a conversation, so yeah, no thank you, not hanging out with the baby tennos anymore. Back to my main task, biting people. Trikes are great. They seem to have almost no vertical reach at all, and they can't really run fast to get up a hill. They don't do much. They kind of just let it happen, considering you do almost no damage to them anyway. My lag today though. The lag was not in my favor. I don't know what was happening. My CPU has just been struggling a bit lately. I don't know if it was me, the server, the internet. It was not going well, which made some of these flybys very risky. I did bite the galley on the head though. I got him a few times, so he was quickly becoming an enemy of mine. I don't think he appreciated that very much. And this is where I learned another valuable lesson. So anyways, bit more of a yappy video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about all the random crap I was talking about. And subscribe if you want to subscribe.